We're back at the Thomas & Mack Center on the campus of UNLV. This is where the Runner Rebs do their thing, and right now the Vegas Summer League has taken over, and we welcome you inside. Rick Hamlin, Steve Smith, we're with Boston Celtics head coach Doc Rivers. So let's talk about this trade. The Boston Herald reporting that Juwan Johnson, E'Twaun Moore, and Sean Williams in a future second are going to Houston in a sign-and-trade for Courtney Lee.
That's amazing they know that.
It's unbelievable. How did they get such intel?
I have no idea. I wish I could talk about it.
You can't talk about it?
But I can read this.
You can read it for us?
Well,
Look at those numbers Courtney put up last year, huh?
You know, if we got a guy like that, that would be terrific.
If you got a guy like that.
that would be really nice.
We'll wait for it to become official, but we don't see Moore, Johnson, or Williams out here, so we'll wait for that trade to go through the league channels and become official. And, Doc, we'll keep it moving here. Let's talk about Avery Bradley, because obviously Jason Terry coming on board, the report from the Boston Herald that Courtney Lee will be becoming a Boston Celtic. There's a need for more depth because of the dual shoulder surgeries for Avery Bradley this summer. Is he going to be ready for training camp?
No, he will not, and probably will not be ready for the start of the season.
Okay.
But we know that, and, you know, we need someone to hold the fort until he gets back. And we lost Ray, you know, so we needed a couple things. Whether we got Ray back or not, we needed Jason Terry. We needed a guy that can make shots off the dribble, that can create his own shots, and another guy that can make big shots and stretch the floor. But then once we lost Ray, we needed to go out and get another guard, and hopefully we have, going by these reports.
Doc, look at I like how you put that one, Doc.
So diplomatic, isn't he, Smith?
He is. He's done TV before.
Yes.
Doc, let's talk about some of these young guys you drafted. Let's start off with Jared Sullinger. What do you think he can bring to the Boston Celtics team? We saw him in college, but how does he fit in with the Boston Celtics and you guys' philosophy?
Well, he rebounds, number one. He can flat-out rebound. We were 29th or 30th. I try not to look at that number, but we were an awful rebounding team. He does that. It's a magnet. I think he'll be able to score on anybody in the post his size. I think playing with Kevin, most of the time he'll have the smaller big on him, which will allow him to score. The two areas that I didn't know that he was really good, I didn't know he could pass the way he passes, and I didn't know he could shoot the ball the way he shoots the ball. So those are two pluses.
Yeah, and when you start to look at him, I'm totally with you, Doc. Got a chance to watch him. He can handle the basketball and face up a little bit.
Yeah.
Then you have Fab Melo. I think he works in perfect for you guys. Might not get a lot of time, but here's a 7-footer that can block shots, and defensively I think he'll bring a presence.
He needs to, creating a word, be Celtic eyes. You know, he needs to learn how to work and that this is a profession, and he wants it. He's a great kid. And I think, with camp coming, I think that'll be great for him. Conditioning is something he's never been in, and he will be, and that'll be good for us.
Doc, talk about, you had a couple of key guys last year undergo heart surgery.
Yeah, what's the yes.
Are you kidding me? Like twice in 1 year, I don't think that's ever been done. I think that's unprecedented in NBA history, but you're bringing them both back. Jeff Green and Chris Wilcox, who I'm talking about. How happy are you to have them to flesh out your rotation?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. I just look at all the series, not just the Miami series, but Jeff Green can play 3 and 4. It gives us another defender on the LeBrons of the world, and it also allows us to put Kevin at the 5 and Jeff at the 4 and Paul at the 3. It gives us versatility, and that's huge for us.
I think when you start to look at it, even though he's had a great year, can you still talk about Rondo, what he did for you guys last year? It seems like he's getting better and better in all the areas where we all talked about he can't shoot, he can't make free throws. He was knocking down threes, knocking down free throws, doing everything.
That was where I was the happiest. The threes, whatever. If they go in, I could care less. Good. Where I was happy with is that he wanted to get fouled and go to the free throw line, and that opened up another part of his game. The year before, he didn't want to get fouled, so down the stretch of games, he was shying away from contact. This year, he was attacking the basket, getting to the foul line, and going to the foul line is so important in the playoffs because it allows you to set your defense.
Right.
And Rondo's ability to get to the line allowed us to be a great defensive team. And he's maturing. That's the best part about it.
Speak a little bit about Chris Joseph also. Wing guy who
sneaky
can do a lot of little things. Yeah. Not great at one thing, but
I didn't know enough about Chris, honestly, and Danny really sold me on him and said, you'll really like this kid, and he's right. He's just sneaky. I think you'll watch him play and didn't know he did anything, and then you look at the stats at the end of the game. He's had 5 rebounds. He's 14 or 16 points. He can shoot. He can put the ball on the floor. Him and Christmas is the other guy. Christmas and Smith are two guys who we didn't draft that we love just watching them play. They know how to play.
Deontay Christmas has been a stat sheet stuffer, whether it was the Orlando Summer League or here in Las Vegas, 4 years at Temple. He's one of those guys, Doc, that's just knocking on the door. Is he knocking loud enough for one of you NBA teams to let him in?
Well, I hear it. I can tell you that. I certainly do. I mean, I think he's earned an absolute shot to be in our camp. And unless something happens, we hope to have him there. He's a good kid. He's got Philly toughness. You can see that, and that always translates well into our league.
Tony Mitchell splashes it, 26-22 Sacramento. And Jonathan Gibson, and the weak side rebound there by Stephen Lasme puts it back and one. Jonathan Gibson likes to get him up, doesn't he, Doc?
Well, that's what he does. The first two games in Summer League in Orlando, he struggled because he was trying to be a point guard. And I said, listen, we want you here because you can shoot. Just shoot the ball. Ty Lue will tell you when you're taking too many shots. But be aggressive. I think half these guys, you watch them, they spend too much time trying to show what they think the coach wants them to see instead of doing what they do, and I think that's more important.
Doc, looking at this, you're coming out and evaluate players, but sometimes as a head coach, getting a chance to watch some of your assistants get a chance to work. I know you love it. What are you looking at for these guys, and what are you looking for them to grow at?
Well,
what areas?
Ty Lue can be a great head coach.
Yes,
and
I totally agree.
I have no doubt about that. My whole goal for this summer league is to get him to see that.
Okay.
I brought him in 2 years ago.
Yes.
And he kind of thought he wanted to coach. Now he loves it, and you can see it. And I think this has really helped him. He's done a terrific job, and he has a way. You've been around coaches.
Yes.
There's certain guys that have great knowledge, but they just can't communicate.
Have a good feel. Right.
Ty is as good as you're going to see as communicate, and that's what we need.
Sacramento with Lazaro Jones with the steal and basket.
We have another turnover. See, he's about to communicate right now. Like timeout.
Is he about to loudly communicate?
Yeah, he may.
With his Boston Celtics. Tyronn Lue running the show for the Celtics here in Vegas. Of course, Doc Rivers runs the show for the Celtics during the regular. Doc, can't thank you enough.
Thanks you guys.
Doc. Appreciate
the great
Thanks
Doc Rivers joining us here in Las Vegas. We'll be right back.